Happy Wednesday. It's the 14th of April, 2021. My name is Travis Justice, and I am the Director of Business Development and Marketing for MCL Construction. And today we are starting our Client Conversation Series. And it's over the next half hour. We want you to enjoy your lunch. We want you to sit back and learn a little bit about leadership, the construction process, and also some great companies that we are happy and fortunate to work with. Today's Client Conversation Kickoff will be with Chuck Olson. He is the CEO of OCI Insurance. And this is a fascinating story. This company has so much growth in the last 20 years, really, 21 year, or 19 years rather. And it's going to be an interesting conversation with Chuck as we learn more about OCI and what they're doing and where they are going. But a little bit about MCL Construction. MCL Construction was founded in 1987. We're located in Omaha, Nebraska. Currently, we have 171 employees. And for many businesses, we know that navigating the entire construction process and knowing who to trust, well, that can be overwhelming. And that's why our people simplify that construction process by listening to you, by helping you plan and execute and continuing that relationship to build your vision. If you would like to, please follow MCL Construction on social media. If you're watching live on LinkedIn, YouTube, or Facebook, you already are following our pages. But if you see this later on after the live production, remember that you can follow us on LinkedIn by just searching for MCL Construction, at MCL Construction on Facebook, on Twitter, YouTube, Instagram. And of course, you can always visit our website, which is mclconstruction.com. Our guest today is the CEO of OCI Insurance. Insurance made simple. That may be one of the best taglines I've ever heard because it's simple and it really lays out what they do. Insurance made simple. OCI was founded in 2002 and works with brokers to navigate the world of insurance and employee benefits. And joining me right now is the CEO of OCI Insurance, and that's Chuck Olson. Chuck, first of all, thank you for taking the time and welcome.
Well, thanks, Travis. This will be interesting. You know, being live always creates its own interesting time. So looking forward to this, though.
Well, I wish you would have sent me a memo because you're wearing the collared shirt and the sport coat, and I'm in a branded hoodie. So you definitely wear the CEO role better than I probably wear the Director of Business Development and Marketing role.
Well, you know, it's just it's my uniform and has been for many years. So I just get used to it.
Take me back to 2002 because you're a sales guy, a sales agent for Mutual of Omaha, and you come up with this idea of starting OCI. Where did you think the insurance business needed that disruption?
You know, it's a great question. You know, when you go back and look at it at that time, 2002, there was a lot of things happening. Health insurance was getting more complicated. Carriers were dropping out of it, Mutual of Omaha being one of them. And what I found is a lot of agents didn't want to deal with what was happening, you know, in the health insurance arena. So they would ask me to help them with their clients. And what I got known for knowing health insurance. And I tell people it's probably the least thing I wanted to get known for, but it's funny how that works. But I knew that agents needed assistance. The client needed more knowledge. And so the idea of forming a company that helped agents and brokers meet the needs of their clients materialized. And, you know, it's like any business. You don't know if it's the right thing until you're in the midst of it. And even then you're wondering if it's the right thing.
So before you ventured off of this, were you working with like direct consumers? Because everybody thinks, well, the people who need the help are really the consumers. When did you realize agents need a lot of help with this too?
You know, I was early in my career. I started in 1988, and I was a career agent. I worked with Mutual of Omaha with the direct, you know, with the consumer. And you know, insurance is complicated. There's a lot of terms that can be used for insurance, but the one thing that I kept hearing from my clients was, you make it sound simple. And it kind of resonated with me that, you know, you don't have to complicate it. Just make it easy for people to understand. And then the agents, the brokers that would refer me to their clients, you know, they realized that I could keep it simple. And again, Why it worked, I don't know, but I've surrounded myself with individuals who speak the same language I do. Keep it simple. Don't try to complicate it. You know what? The main thing is you get hurt, you get sick, you end up in the hospital, it gets paid. And that's really as simple as it can be.
We have a cool feature here on the broadcast. If you have comments or even a question for Chuck, you can leave it in the comments section. And if we get to your question, we'll be more than happy to answer that. Take me back to 2002, because how many employees did you start with? Was it just you? And because we're going to get to your growth, which has been tremendous, and your relocation from that original spot. But how many employees did you start with?
We probably had around 6 at the time. I had my son Charles and my other son Nate. Both were either just graduating from college or still in college, Nate's case. I had my business partner, Rob Collins. We had a couple of staff people, and we had the dream that we could make a business out of this. We were putting together our own furniture, just trying to save a few dollars. So, 5, 6 people. And then, as time went on, we started to add 1 or 2, but we've always been very careful on who we bring in, and they have to be part of a culture that we've built. So that's still today the way we look at it.
Okay, I'm going to ask you a personal question. How old were you when you started OCI in 2002?
Well, let's see, it'd be like 18 years ago. So I had probably about 43 or 44, I think.
So, so taking on an entrepreneurial endeavor like that, was that, because you probably had it really good at Mutual of Omaha. You probably had a pretty good sales track. Was it at any point, once you got into this, did you go, what did I do? And if that's the case, what was it that kept you going just to get through it all?
Travis, every day I ask myself that question. No, initially, yeah, it was a huge undertaking, and it's scary. I don't know anybody that probably starts a company or takes over a company that doesn't have those moments of panic where, is this the right thing to do? Yeah, I had a great practice. I was making enough to take care of my needs, and I thought I was kind of enjoying it too. But I will say the coolest thing is there I was a one person. I had a staff person, but it was really me and a staff person. And today it's myself and 78 people, and I love the fact that there are 78 people living a good life because of something that we've created.
Well, you mentioned that, and so you start with 6 and you go to 78, and then what happens is you start to grow, right? And what you start thinking about building in a brand new building. And in 2019, Indian Creek 1 was completed. This is a 3-story, 65,000 square foot building located right by Indian Creek Golf Course, which is in Elkhorn, Nebraska. And at what point did you realize, you know what, I need a building like this? We've grown that much and take on a building of that size?
It was probably, I think it was in 2015, 2016. We were growing, we were starting to see some growth, and we had projected out that growth. And the building we were in, there was no room to expand. We had 2 people or 3 people in an office. I can recall I had an office there, and I kicked myself out of that office, and we put 4 people in that office. But everybody was on top of everybody, and that's not the culture. That's not the feel we wanted. And so we started exploring, okay, what's it mean to maybe move to a larger space? What's it mean to build a building? What's it mean to, again, it's almost as scary as starting a company is trying to think.
Yeah.
I'd never built anything. I never even built my house or a garage. I don't know the first thing about building. And so that was the scary part, but I knew we needed space, and I've always felt that I'd rather own than rent. So I started exploring buying or building a place or buying an existing property. And well, for whatever reason, God sent me this way and said, okay, you need this piece of property overlooking this golf course. And it worked out extremely well.
It's a prime piece of property. And of course, MCL was fortunate enough to be able to build your vision. Before you even brought us on board, you said you never built anything. What was some of the things people were telling you about the construction process and how bad it was going to be, maybe?
Well, the number one thing I heard is you will be so frustrated because it'll be way over budget and it'll take twice as long as you think it will. And you're just going to absolutely be, pulling your hair out at times. That's honestly, I swear everybody was telling me that, which makes you really want to go forward.
Yeah, everybody did everything they could to talk you out of it. But the key is in your business, relationships are so important, right? The relationships with your brokers are so important. The relationships those brokers have, even with their own personal clients, are so important. The relationship I think you have with your builder and your design team, which was Carlson West Provandra on this. So talk about the relationship you have with your design team and with your builder, which was MCL Construction, and how those relationships mattered.
Sure. A good friend of mine, Mike West, is principal at Carlson West Provandra. So they were the first step, if you will. Hey, is this even a reality? Can I even do this? And is it a 1-story? Is it a 3-story? Give me some help. And they did a great job of educating me a little bit on the best way to go forward. We put together a plan, and then they suggested we go out and talk to some contractors. And because of a relationship on a personal side, knew Bob at MCL, and we visited 3 different contractors. And I just liked the presentation, the emphasis on safety, on cleanliness of the work site. I mean, those things, Carlson West probably helped me a little bit. They said, those are important things, even though you may not think they are, but that's going to make the difference in your project. And so they were very high on looking for certain things. And we chose MCL, and I will tell you, Travis, not just because I'm talking to you, I've told everybody, it became the easiest process I've ever experienced, much easier than starting a company. The only challenges I had were challenges with the financial side of it, that is the banks and such. And I think that's just part of it. But as far as the construction, part of the design, part of the finished product, it could not have been easier. To the credit of MCL, they came in at budget, if not just slightly below. But more impressively, they came in on time, and we had a difficult season during the winter. So, it couldn't have went better for me. In fact, it went so well that I've got a new project that I've already suggested that we're using MCL on. So,
do you want to tell us what that? Can you tell us what that project is yet?
Yeah, it's a project in Old Town, Elkhorn, which is Elkhorn, Nebraska. The Old Town is trying to revitalize, and for those that are in the area, it'll be a wine shop, wine bar that Main Street Cellar. So you'll have to come down and see it, because I know MCL is going to do a great job for us.
And my love for wine too, so that really shouldn't be a problem. Of course, at the end of the day, this is about growth, and this is about your employees. Let's take a look at just some of the here's an exterior shot of your building, and also the interiors. What does this space do for the morale, for the ability workflow to meet? What does this building meet for your business needs?
You could ask our employees. They are so proud to show people our space. I mean, it's like anything. If you're proud of something, you like having other people see it. You like to invite people to come and experience with you. And I think our employees, they love coming to the office because they're so proud of it, and they like to invite other people. Our best employees come from other employees, and it's because they love to tell people how good it is, and the beauty of that space. Even though I we built the space, Travis, and then 3-4 months later, everybody had to go home and nobody could come to work anymore. Although for us, that was very short-lived. We had a lot of employees that wanted to be here. And today we have, most all employees are back. And they like it. The camaraderie of people, the smiling faces of others is something that you can watch it on a screen like we are here, but it really means something when you're in a beautiful location with other people.
You've got a nice break room. You've got some places just to have nice collaboration space. One thing we're not showing is the outdoor patio. Do you find yourself, entertaining not just your employees more, but maybe even potential clients there, where normally they'd come into town and you would, go to a nice restaurant or go somewhere else, but now you're able to even entertain clients in your own location?
Yeah, the space outside, although again, this last year has been a challenge.
True.
We weren't able to use it nearly as much as we had hoped to. But it's a beautiful indoor balcony. It has one of the best views, I think, in Omaha. You can see all the way to downtown. You oversee the entire golf course. A beautiful place to be for the upcoming Corn Ferry Tour stop, if anyone's interested. But we do try to get people up there and entertain them. If the weather's cooperating, I don't know there's a better place. So, yeah.
You're so humble, Chuck, and what you've built is absolutely amazing, and it has a lot to do with culture. And I want to talk about what you talk about when it comes to leadership within your organization, because you talk about culture a lot, but the leaders of your company set that culture. And construction companies are really into acronyms, right? So we have an acronym for everything, and even our company name is an acronym. And you've got two acronyms. Let's start with the first one, which is SGR, which is serve, grow, and retain. Let's talk about those three right away, and
Sure.
and how you teach that and live that for the rest of your employees.
Yeah, we do like acronyms, don't we? OCI, FDR, HHS. But yeah, serve, grow, and retain. This is actually something that my son Charles came up with, and it's part of what we are at OCI. And I'll start with the serve real quickly. Who do we serve? Well, we serve the agent broker, but we also serve the carriers, the companies. And if we can't serve both the companies and the agent, then there's going to be a problem with one or the other. And so we're very careful to make sure that we're always looking at the servant aspect, both to the broker, but to the carrier, and then ultimately to each other. One of the things that we really strive is to make sure that our employees realize, service to others is what really is going to make your life happy. We even have what we call random acts of kindness here at the office, where we try to do an act of kindness to for somebody else, and it's amazing how many times that's recognized, even when it wasn't intent. Example this morning was something simple of holding the elevator door. Somebody held it as I was coming in. I'm like, wow, that's serve. So that's a big part of what we ask our employees and what we really strive to do every day. Grow, obviously, grow is the company wants to continue its growth pattern. It wants to challenge us to take on new things. But we also, again, going back to each and every one of employees, we want them to grow personally. And so, we have book clubs, we have opportunities for education. We have opportunities to take on new leadership. We want everybody to grow. Finally, we want our brokers to grow their businesses. So everyone, again, serve and grow, and then ultimately retain. And retain is, let's don't just always go out looking for new business. Let's make sure we always retain the business that we've worked at in the past. And I think you guys would see the same thing, Travis, is, you do a project for somebody, you don't want them to go somewhere else next time. You want to come and I see that, even in our relationship. So that serve, grow, and retain applies to all parts of our business, whether it's who we serve, the broker, the agent, the carrier, but mostly each other. And we like the fact that we retain our employees. They don't, we don't have large turnover, and we don't want to ever see that. So that's that side.
It's interesting you bring that. Well, first of all, repeat clients and that relationship is so business. I mean, I'm sure it's 80% of your business comes from, 20 of our, it's the 80-20 rule, right? I mean, so 80% of our business comes from that existing client base, and we hope to get new existing clients and bring them into that fold. But you bring up growth, because growth to some people can be a bad word. It's like, well, how do you talk about growth? And I think growth is healthy for everybody. Sometimes people say, well, growth can be greedy. And I disagree with that. If you're growing as a company, you're able to help your employees grow and your clients grow. Everybody's growing if you're growing, right?
Absolutely. And, when we look at growth, one of the things I like to say is, in our business, if we're growing, that means the agent's getting more people served. And that means more people are protected from the things that destroy people, family, cultures. So when we grow, the only way we can grow is if more of those people are protected. And so to me, that's a huge part. And I don't see it as selfish. I see it as actually the service that needs to happen. And I go back to that serve aspect. One of the things our employees did last year is they volunteered more than 2,700 hours. 2,700 hours. And think about the year that they did this in. They did it in a year where they were limited on how much they could actually go do. So, we believe in this SGR so strongly that our entire award system, if you will, is based on SGR: serve, grow, and retain.
That's excellent. Now let's move on to the next acronym, HHS, which is hungry, humble, and smart. How does that fit into your culture?
Well, I always like to say, HHS has a lot of different meanings. Health, human services, in the health insurance industry. But we use it for hungry, humble, and smart. And this is a hiring practice that we use. And it's I think it came from a book that we read in a book club. But what we look for in somebody that wants to come aboard OCI, because we actually get a good amount of people who apply, but we are selective in who we choose, and they have to be hungry. And that doesn't mean like I usually am. It means somebody who wants to get ahead, who wants to use their talents to their fullest, who wants to be better than they were yesterday. That's hungry. That's getting after it and doing the things necessary to get it done. Humble, it's being willing to let others take the lead, being willing to not be in the limelight, but it also means not sitting back and letting others run over you. Humble means you're good at what you do. You're a leader, but you don't have to show that you're a leader. And it's sometimes it's hard to judge that, but when somebody's not humble.
True.
You know somebody who is humble. So, and then smart, a lot of people misread this because they think it means, book smart, or you've got college education, or that you're been in the industry for 20 years or something. But what it means is, can you read people? can you talk with somebody, carry on a conversation, and learn from them without them even having to say things? There's an innate talent in being almost street smart rather than book smart, and that's what we're looking for, is people who can learn on the go. We don't look for people that have extensive insurance backgrounds. We look for people that meet these three criteria, HHS, and we have a multi-step process that we go through. And maybe you're interviewing and I'm a little questionable on your humbleness. The next interview, that's gonna be picked up on to see if that is indeed correct. So, yeah.
The interesting part is, in a former life, before I came to work at MCL Construction, I was a sportscaster. I was on television for 20 years, and I was around, and I did sports, so I was around great teams, and everybody thought that I was in the business because I got to go to sporting events, and that was okay. But what I loved about it, Chuck, was that I got to be around high performing teams and teams that demanded excellence. And it was interesting to watch the teams that excelled. And I covered 3 national championship football teams. I covered several national championship baseball teams at the College World Series. What set teams apart? It wasn't talent. It was culture. It was 100% culture on why teams succeed and why they fail. Would you agree with that as a CEO, and taking a sports analogy and putting it into a business analogy?
Absolutely. It's the most key thing. People ask me why we've had success, and it's because we're a team. We're not individual. It's not Chuck Olson who built OCI. It's the people we've brought on board who have been with us, and I get all the credit, and that's great. But it's not. We have the best culture of any employer in Omaha, hands down, I think. And, I look out at our staff and I'm so proud of them because we get things done. We get it done together. We don't have the office problems that some do, but it's because I think we stay with that HHS and, we are a team. And one of the concerns I had with the COVID situation was people losing that culture that they've built, and we decided that our culture was more important to get back in the office, get working together, and fortunately we've had no problems, and now I think more and more people are comfortable with it. But I'm very proud of our culture and our HR team for doing the things that they do to get the right people in. And then the leadership of our team that gets them all in the right seats of the bus. And like I said, people come in here as a part of a jigsaw puzzle, and we never know exactly where they fit in this puzzle. But we turn them one way, and we realize all of a sudden they're perfect, and the picture just is so beautiful when it's right.
So what's next for OCI? I know the insurance world is changing all the time. You continue to grow. What is next? What's the next iteration of growth for OCI?
Well, we're expanding our footprint. We went into Minnesota last year. Great year to expand into another state, by the way. You can't go see anybody, can't go do anything, but wow, but we're expanding our footprint: Oklahoma, Kansas, Missouri, Iowa. We're looking at some other states. We have, I think we're 42 states, across the board. But we're just getting more looks at by larger agencies who realize, there's no cost in using us, so it kind of makes sense. And but expansion into financial service products, that is life, DI, long-term care, not just health and employee benefits. But I don't know what tomorrow brings. I really don't. But I know that our employees are always coming with ideas, and they're hearing things, and they bring them to us, and it seems like it might be a good idea. We try to go that direction.
Well, before we say so long for the day, just a quick reminder that you can follow MCL Construction on social media, our LinkedIn page, our Facebook page, Twitter, YouTube, Instagram, and of course, our website. Chuck, you said this was your first live experience. It was flawless, wasn't it? There were no hiccups whatsoever, I don't think.
I think I only one time, messed up my lines. No, it's actually, Travis, you make it so easy. You definitely made this fun to do, and I enjoyed it very much, and I look forward to seeing the new ones. How often are you going to do these, do you think?
Well, you're the test drive here, right? So, and I appreciate you do that, because you're like, well, what are we going to do here? And I'm like, I have this idea, I have this vision, what I want to do, and it's really, when I got into construction from the sports world, what I loved about it is I could always go places that like nobody else could. So I was always on the field in a stadium. Well, now I get to go inside a construction zone when nobody else gets to, and that's really neat to see. But I get to meet so many people, and I learned so much about the businesses we work for. And I didn't know anything about OCI before we built your company. Then I got to know you and even your personal backstory, which we could do a whole nother half hour on that, right? And I'm like, there are so many great stories to tell that I don't want this to be about MCL. I want it to be about our clients, because they do such great work. They're able to reach so many people that, Chuck, you say you have the best culture in Omaha. I don't disagree with that. But I would also say you're probably like the best kept secret in Omaha. I think there's a lot of people who go, what's OCI? And I think to me, part of my service to MCL is to help our clients maybe reach, even if they can reach one more, right? Just one more. I think that makes a difference. Yeah. So I'd like to do these once a month. It depends on the clients are willing to do it, but that's my goal, is to do, start small, do once a month, and if I get it up to once a week, that'd be great.
Well, I enjoyed doing it. I will tell anybody that wants to do it in the future that Travis isn't too hard on you. He threw me a few softballs, so I'm fine with it. So if you're good at just winging it, because I don't like I never really come in with any prepared questions. I just like to have a little bit of fun. But Chuck, it was good to check up. Congratulations on all your success, and I look forward to talking to you soon, my friend. All right, sir. Take care. Bye now.
All right.